So let me just repeat for you. If I can find my black pen. So, my cash budget, it's receipts and payments. Meaning, it can be B's and N's, but it has to be cash. It has to be something you can put in the CRJ or CPJ. When I do, we're also going to do a budgeted income statement. Okay? The moment we do income statement, it's income and expenses. Income and expenses is only nominal, right? And it's only this financial year. Can you see the difference between the two? Okay. So, now let's go on. We were busy, we did the payments to creditors, and then we started walking through. We were busy with the equipment, right? And I already did the asset disposal. Did we buy a new one? So they say we buy new equipment on credit. This isn't cash, but how are we going to pay it? We have to give a deposit of 4,000. So in the payments, I'm going to say equipment, deposit, and when is that? They say that is in February. So 4,000 in February, a deposit. And then they say the balance will be paid over 6 months. So the balance is 30,000 divided by 6. I'm going to pay off 5,000, but they say I only start in March. So am I going to show it? No. If they said starting February, I would have had equipment payments 5,000 in February as well. Okay, so everybody sharp. Yeah? Yeah. Because they say we bought it for 34,000. So now part of that 4 is then the deposit. Okay. Can you see there's a big potential there for UK? They could have said you owe 34,000 after a 10% deposit was paid. Then you have to do UK. Right. So I've done credit, so this is done. I've done credit purchases. Depreciation doesn't go into the cash budget. Why? Depreciation is a nominal, which is fine, but it's not cash. So it doesn't go in there. Right. So just write for yourself there. Not cash. Then we've done the credit purchases. Credit purchases we've done in the form that we are paying creditors. Right. The loan from Maybuy Bank was made on the 1st of November. Okay. Half of the loan will be repaid 31st Jan, and interest is paid monthly. So now I'm going to pay my loan, half of the loan. When I go to the balances, I see my loan is 36,000. So if I pay half of the loan, it's 18,000, and I pay it in January. Everybody fine with that? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I need to pay interest on loan. They say I pay it monthly. Now, let's quickly think. I only pay back the 18,000 on 31st January, right? Meaning I had the full loan in January. So the full loan is going to be 36,000. I see next to the balance it's 14%, for 1 month, and that gives me what? 36 down, 14%, 1 month, 50, 40. It's too much.
No, for 1 month. 420.
420. Okay, now I've paid back 18,000. So February, I only have 18,000 left. So 18,000, 14%, 1 month, or you could just use your brain and say, oh, it's going to be half of that. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So now that gives me 630. Can I quickly, just by the way, they love asking this. They won't tell me. What they do is they will make that 18,000 a question mark. So they won't tell me how much I pay back. What they do, then they print in the answer paper, they print in the 210 and the 420. Then they ask you to calculate how much did you pay back on the loan. Can anybody think how we will do that? So, in other words, let me write it down. They give me the interest, right, for the 2 months. So the question is, how much did we pay on loan? If they didn't give you the 18. Yes. Yes, I'm going to work it back. So let's quickly look. This is how I will do it. How will I calculate interest? I must say the loan times the percentage times the months gives me the interest. Isn't that right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the loan X. I know the interest is 14 because it's given. I know it's 1 month. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the difference. I'm going to say 420 less 210. Because it makes my life a bit easier. Because the other option is to work it out for 420, work it out for 210, and then get the difference. So it's easier just to get the difference in the interest. So now I solve it. So X would literally be, what is that answer? 210 times 100 over 14. Can you see I'm reversing? It's like Kamano said, I'm reversing. Times 12 over 1. And then you will get 18,000. That's one of the things they like you to calculate. And because I do it on the loan, they can also ask, what is the increase in loan? And can you see they can also ask it with fixed deposit. They can say, how much of the fixed deposit matured? How much did we invest in a fixed deposit? Then you do this. So you just remember, you take the difference in the interest, swap the interest rate, 100 over the interest times 12 over 1. Okay, everybody sharp. So let's go back here. Next one, is that the only ones? Where's the... Oh, sorry, I keep turning this page. The business employs 3 shop assistants at a salary of 4 each per month. On 31st January, one of the assistants will leave the business. Will they be paid for January? Yes. Okay. So the salary for January would be 3 people times 4, which is 12,000. It's 4,000. So I say 3 times 4,000. Okay. You see 12. Everybody with me? Now they say, one of the assistants will leave, so now I've got 2. The other 2 assistants will get an increase of 1,000 rand each. So now it's 5,000 that they're going to get.
So it's 10,000.
So it's 10,000. And it adds up to 22. Yes. Part of the building is let at 2.5 per month. The rent will increase in Feb. So I know this is a rent income. I know I get 2.5,
In Jan.
but it's going to increase in Feb without me showing you how quickly calculate that. Okay, so how I will calculate it is I will say 2.5 times, and now I don't want to pay 100, get 100, I'm going to get 100 plus a 15% interest. You see? So I say 115 over 100, and that gives me what?
Yeah, 2,875.
Okay, and if I add it, now what would I have done if they told me the 2,875 and they say this is after an increase and you have to calculate January the 2.5? How would you do that? I just swap. I would put the 100 on top and the 115 at the bottom. Okay, everybody sharp. And then they give me a bank balance. Note, interest on fixed deposit is not capitalized. That just means, so when they say that, it means every month I pay or every month I receive. Okay, it influences my bank monthly. So now I've got everything in here, ne? So I need to go and total. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight, because drawing with a black pen is not going to help. I'm going to total here. I'm going to total here. And I'm going to say total receipts. Which last one? It's just the bank. Yeah. Total receipts. Total payments. And then I'll write the rest of the format while you add. Hey, work. You are recording. Okay, and then there must be another one. Okay, total
76,980.
Okay. So now I've got all the receipts and payments, and now I just need to, it's a little bit, let me just make it a little bit brighter that you can see. Can you see now? Okay. So let's make it nice and
Wait,
so now I'm going to take,
the total is wrong.
which total is wrong?
The total for given
Okay, what is this?
94,980.
Okay, now I say receipt minus payment gives me cash surplus deficit. Receipt minus payment, surplus deficit, receipt minus payment. Okay, can you give me?
Just still copying the format.
Okay. 66, 140. And February? And total? 1105. Okay. Now I need the bank opening. So the bank opening, they say it's unfavorable 6-2. So I'm going to put it in brackets 6-2. So now I'm going to minus. So 66 less 6 gives me
5994.
and I know the closing is next month's opening. And now it's positive, ne? I want you all to pay attention to what I'm doing now. I'll give you time to copy. What's wrong?
So wait, my bank opening, yeah, I'm writing negative 6,200, and then I'm going to add 49,565.
Yeah. Yeah, so now I take that one there. So this plus this gives me this. I cannot take that 109 there because it's not the next month. This is totals. So now let's quickly think. What is the time I'm budgeting for? And please listen, you can copy now. I am budgeting 1st Jan till 28 Feb. So the opening I'm going to use here is going to be the one I have 1st Jan. So I'm going to take that there. Right? So it's going to be negative 6-2. And now, when I calculate, I say that gives me can you see that the closing is the same as the closing of Feb? Because I want the opening, because this represents the whole period, 1st Jan till 28 Feb. Right? So what was my balance for bank on the 1st of Jan? It was 6-2 negative. And what was my balance 28 February? It was 109,505. So you can actually just transfer it. You don't even have to calculate it. But you can now see, if I say this less this, it's going to give me the closing. So here I'm literally going to take whatever was 1st Jan, and here will be 28 Feb.
First of the month and last of the
Yes,
period.
because I'm doing the whole period.
First, okay, so it's the first, the opening of the period and the closing of the entire period.
That's it. It's the opening of the period and the closing of the period.
Okay.
Okay.